NVUM interview from start to finish. This is what your tablet start screen should look like, and you'll notice that on the right-hand side, the Survey 123 icon is there. And you'll also notice that on the left-hand side, there's a little place for the stylus, and you will want to use that for these interviews. It makes it a lot easier. When you click on the Survey 123 icon, it's going to take you to your survey app screen, and it's going to have 4 apps on it. And you'll notice that 2 of them are training apps. You want to make sure that you never use these when you're live in the field. You're always going to want to use the NVUM Fiscal Year 22 individual interview. And when you click on that one, it takes you to this screen, and you'll notice at the left-hand bottom corner, there's a plus sign that says Collect. You want to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to take you to your start screen for your interview. The first thing you're going to do is enter your name. And then once you've entered your name, go ahead and key in the QR code, and this is going to be on your monthly calendar from MMI2. And once you get that keyed in, go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to auto-populate the region, the forest, the district, the site number, the site name, the site type, whether it's a proxy or non-proxy site, and if it is a proxy site, the proxy code. The next thing you're going to enter is the use level, which you will also find on the MMI2 monthly calendar. And if you're on a non-proxy job, it's either going to be low, medium, or high, or very high. And if you're on a proxy job, it's going to be proxy. And then the next question is this a substitute day? The answer to this is going to be no, unless we have told you otherwise in advance. And the next thing you want to do is check your date and time and just make sure, double check that they're right. If you do need to make any adjustments, if you click on the little clock, it brings down a drop down for the time that you can make changes to. And on the calendar, same thing, it brings a little drop down and you can make changes to the calendar. The next question is hand tally counts, and this is asking what you are counting, people, vehicles, or a mix of both. This is also on the MMI2 monthly calendar, and it's always going to be people or vehicles. Once you've entered that, you're going to enter your beginning hand tally count, and this is always going to be 0. And once you've entered it, you don't ever want to go back and edit it for any reason, as it will wipe out any surveys that you have done for the day if you do go in there and change it. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is hit the plus key in the middle of the screen, and that is going to bring up your interview form types, basic, economics, and satisfaction. Your first survey of the day should always be an economic survey, and then you'll rotate through the 3 different types the rest of the day. And once you've selected your interview type, then it asks you if you want to start a new interview. Go ahead and click on that. And it will bring up the time the interview started and the date again. And you won't want to click on the next box until you actually have a visitor that wants to take a survey. And then you're going to look at your hand tally counter, and you're going to enter the number that is on that in this box. And then you're going to click the plus on the right side of the screen. And that is going to bring up the Section 1 screening questions. At this point, you're going to read the paragraph that says interviewers say the Forest Service is conducting interviews of visitors and you're going to fill in whatever forest you're in, and then continue reading the paragraph. And once you've read that, then you're going to say, would you be willing to take a few minutes to participate in this interview? If they say no, go ahead and click the no box. But if they say yes, then you'll want to click the yes box. And then the next thing you're going to do is click that plus sign on the right-hand side of the screen again. And that will bring up the next section of screening questions. Hi, would you be willing to take a few minutes to participate in this interview?
Sure, I'll take an interview.
Okay. What is your home zip code?
924316.
Okay, so then you're going to go to question 3. And question 3 is, what is the primary purpose of your visit to this national forest? Working or commuting, only stopping to use the restroom, passing through, some other reason, or recreation?
Recreation.
Okay. So you'll see that as you answer questions that it auto-populates the next thing that you're going to ask. So have you recreated in the undeveloped areas such as trails, forests, lakes, streams, or other natural areas on this forest?
Yes.
Okay. Are you leaving the undeveloped area for the last time on this visit?
Yes, we're leaving right now.
Okay. So in total during this visit, how much time will you have spent in the undeveloped areas?
I would probably say maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, so minutes goes in the first field, and if it's hours, it goes in the second line there. And then you're ready to do section 2 of the National Forest visit. And did you spend last night in the National Forest?
Yes, I did.
How many nights in a row do you plan to spend in the forest?
About 3 or 4, probably 4.
When did you first arrive at this national forest?
Oh, about 4 days ago.
So about the 10th?
Yes, actually it was the 10th.
Okay. Do you know what time you arrived?
We arrived around noon.
Okay. And when do you plan to finish your visit to this national forest?
Well, in about another 2 or 3 days now. Well, actually, my wife was just checking on me. We're actually leaving right now.
Hey. So on this visit, did you or will you go to any other areas for, will you go to any other areas for recreation other than this one?
Yes, we will.
Did you enter or do you plan to enter a designated wilderness at any time during this forest visit?
No, I don't think so.
Did you enter or do you plan to enter any undeveloped areas such as trails, forest roads, lakes, streams, or other areas during this visit?
Yes.
How many different lodging facilities such as campgrounds, cabins, hotels, lodges have you used or do you plan to use during this visit?
4.
How many different day use sites such as picnic areas, visitor centers, interpretive sites, swimming areas, or ski areas have you used or plan to use during this visit?
5.
The next question usually involves flashcards, but because of COVID, we're not using them right now. So I will go ahead and read them off. And for training purposes, I'm only going to read the first few just because of the time it takes. So have you done any of these activities? Fishing, hunting, viewing, photography, wildlife, nature study, hiking, horseback riding?
Yeah, we went hiking and we did a little bit of, my kids did a little bit of horseback riding. And we, of course, camped on the,
Okay.
Yeah, we went camping. And of course, we went backpacking.
Okay.
And then we just generally just relaxed and hung out.
Okay. Which one of these was your primary activity for this visit?
Hiking, I would probably say hiking. We came up here to do a little bit of hiking. Have really nice trails here.
Okay. Including this visit, about how many times have you come to this national forest in the past 12 months?
This is our second time.
Okay. How many of those visits were to participate in the main activity you identified a moment ago?
Both of them.
About how many hours did you spend doing your main activity during this visit?
I would probably have to say about 5 or 6.
And then this next question normally would have a flashcard, but I will just read the answers. Overall, how satisfied or dissatisfied are you with your recreation experience on this national forest during this visit? Using a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is dissatisfied and 5 means very satisfied. So 1, very dissatisfied, 2, somewhat satisfied, 3, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, 4, somewhat satisfied, 5, very satisfied.
I'm very satisfied with our visit here.
Okay. About how far from home did you travel to get here?
Oh, God, that's a tough one. I'd say about maybe 2,700 miles, roughly.
Okay. Which of the following choices best describes the purpose of your trip? Primary for recreation, my main destination was not this forest, primarily for business, family, or other, or some other reason.
Primarily for recreation.
Are you staying overnight away from home on this trip?
Yes.
How many nights total will you be away from home?
4? Oh, no, I'm sorry, 4.
Of those, how many are within 50 miles of here?
2? Well, actually, yeah, I think 2. My wife is saying, yeah, 2.
Okay. Okay, the next section is demographics. How many people, including you, traveled here in the same vehicle?
4.
How many of those people are less than 16?
2.
So the next few questions would normally have flashcards as well, but I will go ahead and just read them off. And if you prefer not to answer any of them, just let me know.
Okay.
So I can see that you're a male. And what age group do you fall into? Under 16, 16 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, or 70 and above?
Number 5, 40 to 49.
Okay. And then the second person in your party?
Female.
And same age group?
She's same age. She's between 40 and 49.
Okay. Third person?
A female.
Okay. And
she's 16 and under, or she's under 16.
Okay. And then the fourth person?
A male, and he is under 16.
Okay. And are you Hispanic or Latino, not Hispanic or Latino, or prefer not to answer?
We are not Hispanic or Latino.
Okay. And with which racial group do you most closely identify? American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian, Black African American, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, white, or prefer not to answer?
White.
So the next group of questions are economic questions, and so they're going to ask some things about income and spending while you were out in the forest, and any of them that you prefer not to answer, just go ahead and say so.
Okay.
If for some reason you had been unable to go to this national forest for your visit, would you have gone somewhere else for the same activity, gone somewhere else for a different activity, come back another time, stayed home, gone to work at your regular job, or none of these?
we would probably come back at another time because we were really looking forward to this particular forest.
Okay. Okay, so the next set of questions are the trip expenditure ones. So for the following categories, please estimate how much you and other members of your party will spend for your entire trip within 50 miles of here. Please round off to the nearest dollar and enter a zero if they didn't spend money. So motel, lodging, cabin.
We spent about $1,500.
Camping?
I think probably about 100, 150.
restaurants and bars,
Well, about a little over $600.
groceries,
About maybe $75, $80.
gasoline and oil,
Gas, we probably spent about $130.
local transportation,
I think of course, we took the bus to the hotel. I would probably say maybe $25.
entry fees, parking, recreation use fees,
About $175.
recreation and entertainment, including guide fees and equipment rentals,
I'd say about maybe $60, $50 or $60.
sporting good purchases,
None.
souvenirs, clothing, and other miscellaneous.
Well, we bought a lot of souvenirs, so I'd probably say about maybe $225.
Okay, in total, how much did you and other people in your vehicle spend on this entire trip from the time you left home until you returned home?
I would probably, this is just a rough guess, but I would probably say about maybe $4,500.
Okay. What is your annual household income? Under 25,000, 25 to 49, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 or over, or don't know, or prefer not to answer.
We are about 150 and over.
Due to our interest in understanding off-highway vehicle use and in providing better facilities, we would like to know if you used any of the following on your National Forest visit. Please choose all that apply. Motorized single-track trails, motorized dual-track trails, designated off-road vehicle area, forest roads that require high clearance, scenic byways, visitor center, museums, interpretive site, Forest Service office or information station, swimming area, developed fishing site or dock, or none of these.
We did the visitor center, of course, and then we did the forest. We went to the Forest Service to get a bunch of information, and of course the kids went swimming. I think that's it.
Okay. So that is the end of our interview. I thank you for your time and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
So now we're ready to do a third survey for the day. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and select, since we've done a basic and an economics, let's click satisfaction. And we are ready to start a new interview. So go ahead and click that radio button. And look at your tally counter and enter the number from that for your interview tally count. And then click the plus sign on the right. And you are ready to start a new interview. Hi, would you be willing to take a few minutes to take this interview?
I sure will.
Okay. What is your home zip code? If you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. 23146.
Okay. And what is the primary purpose of your visit to this national forest? Working or commuting to work, only stopping to use the restroom, passing through, some other reason, or recreation?
Recreation.
Thank you. So have you recreated in the undeveloped areas such as trails, forest roads, lakes, streams, or other natural areas on this forest during your visit?
Yes, we sure did. All the above.
Okay. Are you leaving the undeveloped area for the last time on this visit?
Yes, we're leaving right now. The wife and kids are packing up the car, and so yeah, we'll be leaving here pretty quick.
Okay. In total, during this visit, how much time will you have spent in the undeveloped areas?
4 days.
Did you spend last night in this forest?
Yes, we did.
How many nights in a row do you plan to spend, or did you spend?
4 days, 4 nights.
Okay. When did you first arrive?
We arrived on the 10th, I believe it was.
Okay. When did you? Oh, do you remember what time?
Yeah, we arrived about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Okay. And when do you plan to finish your visit to this national forest?
Well, actually, we're actually leaving right now. Like I said, as soon as the wife and kids pack up the car, then we're out of here.
Okay. On this visit, did you or will you plan to go to any areas for recreation other than this one?
No.
So the next set of questions usually has flashcards, but due to COVID, we are not using them, so we just go ahead and read them off. And during this interview, just for the sake of time, because it's a training interview, I'm not going to read them. So, what were your primary activities while you were visiting during your visit?
Well, we went fishing. We went, of course, hiking, and of course, we visited the, old Mother Nature. We visited the Nature Center and Trail Center, and we also went. Well, actually, we didn't. The adults didn't, but the kids went snowmobiling, which they had a lot of fun on that one. That was a lot of fun. It was nice to see them out there. We do this every year, so
Okay.
it's nice that this year they had snow.
Yeah.
Also, we went to of course the resort and cabins because we stayed in the cabin, and we went backpacking. And I think that's it. That's all I can remember.
Okay. So which one of those was your main activity for this recreation visit?
Well, that's tough because we went the snowmobile and then the backpacking. Those were 2, but I guess if I had to pick one of them, I'd probably say hiking and backpacking. At least for the adults. The kids,
Okay.
the kids really, their main purpose was coming down here to the snowmobile. So.
Okay. So including this visit, about how many times have you come to this national forest in the past 12 months?
This is our first time. We come out here every year. My father used to take us out when we were kids, so now we're taking our kids out.
Oh, okay. How many of those visits were to participate in the main activity you identified a moment ago?
The one.
Okay. About how many hours did you spend doing your main activity during this visit?
Oh my goodness, we were out there from dusk to dawn, so I'd probably say about 12, 13.
Okay. So overall, how satisfied or dissatisfied are you with your visit to this national forest? 1, very dissatisfied. 2, somewhat dissatisfied. 3, neither dissatisfied nor satisfied. 4, somewhat satisfied. Or 5, very satisfied.
We are very satisfied. We had a good time.
Good. About how far did you travel from home to get here? And an estimate is good.
Let's see, we're from the East Coast. I'll probably say about maybe 2,700 miles, I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Which of the following choices best describes the purpose of your trip? Primarily for recreation, this was your main destination. Primarily for recreation, it was not your main destination. Primarily for business, family, or other reasons.
This was actually our destination. You don't have to say anything else.
Okay.
As soon as you said that, I was going to stop you. But
okay.
Yeah, this is our destination. This was our destination.
And are you staying overnight away from home on this trip?
Yes.
How many total nights will you stay?
4.
And how many of these will be within 50 miles of here?
All 4 of them.
Okay, so the next set of questions are demographic questions, and there's usually a flashcard for those, but because of COVID, we're not using them. So
Okay.
Just let me know if there's any you're uncomfortable answering.
Okay.
How many people, including you, traveled here in the same vehicle?
3.
Okay. And how many of those people are less than 16?
1.
Now I would like to collect age and gender information for everyone in your group.
Sure.
I can see that you're a male.
Yes, I am.
And then the age groups are under 16, 16 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40.
We are 30. I'm 33, and my wife is 32.
Okay. And I'm assuming.
She is a male or female.
Okay. And then the third person?
My daughter Stephanie. She is a little under. I think she's 7. Or she's. Oh, my wife is poking me. She's 15 years old.
Okay. Are you Hispanic or Latino? Not Hispanic or Latino?
We are not Hispanic nor Latino.
Okay. And which racial groups do you most closely identify with? American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian, Black African American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, white, or prefer not to answer?
Asian.
Okay. Okay, so the next set of questions are satisfaction questions, and there is a flashcard for some of these, but again, we won't be using the flashcards, so we'll just be reading through them. So the Forest Service wants to make sure they provide recreation opportunities for everyone, including those with disabilities. Does anyone in your group have a disability?
No.
Okay. We're also interested in what you thought about the number of people who were using the area for recreation today. Please rate your perception on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 means there was hardly anyone else here, and 10 means that you thought the area was very overcrowded.
Well, there's some areas that were really overcrowded. Like, for example, when my daughter went skiing or went on the snowmobile, that was really crowded. But when we went hiking, it was okay. So I would probably give it about a 6, I guess.
Okay. Okay. How did you feel about the adequacy of signage on the forest as a whole? Very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neither dissatisfied nor satisfied, somewhat satisfied, very satisfied, or not applicable?
Most of the places we went to had pretty good signs, so I would probably say, I guess it would be very satisfying.
Okay. How does the importance of the signage rate for you?
Oh, very important. Yes, very important.
How did the road conditions in the forest as a whole, how would you rate those? Same scale?
Most of it, because we went from snowboarding or snowing to hiking and mountain, so there were 2 different types of terrain. So I would probably say it was it was somewhat satisfying.
Okay. And then road condition importance.
That's very important.
How satisfied or dissatisfied were you with the scenery at the site area where you were at?
Very satisfying.
Okay. And what is the importance of the scenery?
Very important. We got some great pictures.
Good. The condition of the natural environment?
It was somewhat satisfying.
Okay. And how do you rate the importance of the?
I would say very, very important. When we went to the website, or we went to your website, the pictures on your website looked really nice when we got there. Kind of didn't look like it did.
Okay. So, parking availability.
The parking availability was really good.
Oh.
I was a little surprised on that.
And what's the importance of that?
Very important, simply because we drove a car and we didn't want to have to park a long way and then walk.
How satisfied were you with the parking lot condition?
Somewhat satisfying. The mountain, when we went hiking, it was really dirty. It was really a lot of rocks.
how would you rate the importance of the parking lot condition?
Very important, I guess.
How would you rate the cleanliness of the restrooms if you used them?
Oh yeah, we did use the restrooms. They were terrible. I have to admit the restrooms were very dissatisfying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you rate the importance of restroom cleanliness?
Very important. The restroom didn't have any toilet paper, or the water was shut off, and it was. I just didn't like it.
So how would you rate the condition of developed recreation facilities?
It was very satisfying.
And how would you rate the importance of the condition of the developed recreation facilities?
I would say number 4. Number 4.
Okay. How would you rate the condition of the forest roads?
Most of the forest roads were very satisfying. Most of them.
And how do you rate the importance of the road condition?
I would have to say that it's very important, because it depends on if you're going to go there or not.
How would you rate the condition of the forest trails?
The trails are really good.
Okay. How would you rate the importance of the trail condition?
Very important, because that's why we came down here.
How would you rate the feeling of safety while you were out and about?
I would say 4, maybe. Somewhat satisfied.
Okay. And how would you rate the importance of feeling safe while you're out?
Of course, everywhere you go, you want to feel safe. So I would have to say that's very important for being an adult with a girl.
How would you rate the helpfulness of employees that you may have encountered, and not including myself?
Oh, well, not including yourself. We didn't run into a whole lot of them, but the ones we ran into were very helpful, and they knew their stuff, and most of them had maps, and when we asked them questions, they just gave us the maps and they answered our questions too. Really good.
Okay. And how do you rate the importance of employee helpfulness?
That would be very important.
How would you rate the availability of interpretive educational displays, signs, and exhibits?
They were somewhat satisfying.
And how would you rate the importance of those items?
I think it would be very important, because if the signs weren't there, if the signs didn't have what they needed, you wouldn't know where you were going.
How would you rate the availability of information on recreation about this site?
Very satisfying.
Okay. And how would you rate the importance?
Important, very, very important.
How would you rate the adequacy of signage to get to this site?
Somewhat satisfied.
Okay. And how would you rate the importance of signage being adequate to get to this site?
Very satisfying. Or I'm sorry, very, very important.
Yeah. Okay, and that is all of my questions for today. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.
Okay, you're welcome. Hey, what's this for?
Oh, the Forest Service takes these every 5 years in every forest. It's on a rotating basis, and they use the information that they gather for forest funding in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So your opinions and comments are very important.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So anyway, we're ready for that 4th interview. We're going to go ahead and click the plus sign. And we're going to go ahead and do another basic interview. So click basic. And then come down here, start new interview. Look at your hand tally counter and enter that count. And then go ahead and click the plus sign. And you'll see section 1 screening questions. So, hi, would you be willing to take a few minutes to participate in an interview?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So, what is your home zip code?
84331.
Okay. And what is the primary purpose of your visit to this site? Working or commuting to work, only stopping to use the restroom, just passing through, some other reason, or recreation?
Recreation.
Okay. And have you recreated in the undeveloped areas of this area, such as trails, forest roads, lakes, streams, other natural areas? No?
Nope, this is our first time here.
Okay. That was the last question, so this interview is complete.
Oh,
Thank you for your time.
that
Have a
was
good
easy.
day. Yeah. Okay, so it is the end of your survey interview period, and so we're going to go ahead and finish up with the end of 6-hour interview period part of the survey. So you want to double check, make sure that your date still says today's date, and double check your time. They're going to ask how many minutes did you spend on break. Even though you took your 30-minute break, go ahead and put 0 there. Your total survey time in hours from the time you started the survey to now it auto-populates, so it says 6 hours, which is correct. You're going to enter your end of period hand tally count, so you're just going to look at that tally counter, and whatever it says, that's what you're going to put here. Recreation use for this site for the day is, you're going to put normal, unless you know some other reason why it should be below normal or above normal, like maybe there's a big event going on, or that which would make it above normal, or maybe it's bad weather and there's not many people out, and just sometimes COVID is a good reason why it might be below normal. And you're going to see that it auto-populated how many interviews you conducted during this period. And then here we have the notes section. And in this box, you're just going to put any kind of notes about the day, that anything interesting, like you can put like that somebody might have told you that the restrooms needed cleaning and that kind of thing. Put what kind of a day it was, like sunny and warm or cold and snowy. And you might want to start it out with saying that it was a COVID-19 or a C-19 survey period, since the pandemic is still going on. But this notes section is really important, and we would like it to be filled out at the end of every interview. And once you've got that all filled out, you're going to come down here in the right-hand corner, and you're going to click that check mark. And if you're connected to Wi-Fi, this is the screen that's going to come up. And if you're out in the woods, you might just want to click Send Later. And if you click Send Later, what's going to happen is it's going to go back to this page, and you're going to see right below where it says Collect, there's the out box. If you get home and you're ready to send your survey, you're going to click on that out box, and you're going to see that the survey is showing right there. And you would go ahead and click Send. Because this is a live survey, I'm not going to click Send to show you what it does, because this is a practice survey, but I use the live interview. And so that's the end of the survey training. Thank you.